Welcome to the Coaches Show. Joining me today is Terrance Harris of your Mission Prep Royals. We're down here in the great state of Arizona, the Grand Canyon State, in a beautiful city, Mesa, Arizona. And Coach, we're in the midst of the Visit Mesa Basketball Challenge.
Yes.
Off to a rough start on day one, a 30-point loss to the Timpview Thunderbirds from Provo, Utah.
Yeah.
And tonight we have the Valley Christian Trojans from here in the greater Phoenix area.
Yeah, Chandler, Arizona.
Talk about the competition in this tournament and what's been set up as far as the play with teams coming from Washington and Northern California, as far as Texas.
Yeah. This is, very much like the Christmas Classic, really.
Yeah.
It's a high-quality competition, teams that travel from a lot of different spaces to come and play here. Mesa, the city of Mesa, is the host, similar to the city of SLO being our host this year, our sponsor this year. And a lot of really good competition, some really good teams. And we wanted to play in this tournament because, number one, we wanted to make sure that we were challenging ourselves early. And number two, to see some different styles of basketball. I believe in just seeing as many styles as you can to best prepare yourself for what may come in the playoffs. Of course, we didn't expect to be off to the challenging start that we're off to. Got to acknowledge that where we're at is not what we'd hoped for, but also can't lose sight of the bigger picture and finding ways to improve every day. We haven't always done that, and right now, looking forward to playing against a really, really good team this evening. More great competition. Timpview is a really, really good program. They lost a few early games, a few close ones, but their record wasn't necessarily what their ability is. That's a really good program, really good team. We didn't play our best. I'm going to chalk it up to a long journey the day before instead of anything else. But we're looking forward to playing a really good Valley Christian team tonight. I'm currently ranked, I think, the fourth best team in the state of Arizona. So here we go.
Let's talk about your squad just a little bit. 5-game skid.
Yeah.
It's a young team having to mature quickly, get some top-tier talent through the Christmas Classic into the Visit Mesa Basketball Challenge.
Yeah.
How is this team holding up to the adversity they're facing, and how are they progressing through it?
Yeah, it's a good question. And it would be really easy for a team to fold right now, quite frankly, an inexperienced team at the varsity level. These guys have played a lot of basketball, but a lot of these guys are playing their first real varsity minutes. But in our conversations yesterday following the game, our film sessions yesterday following the game, our walkthrough this morning, our film session in preparation for tonight's game, I actually felt like the guys are still committed. We're all searching for some answers, and really that's all you can do right now. I talked to them about the two most important words for me. Right now it's resilience and compete. And when I say resilience, we've had some hard times and some challenge. What I told them is they're challenging times, and we have to be resilient. We have to continue to bounce back. We have to continue to search for the opportunities to grow and get better. And honestly, my message to these guys is you're going to face real life adversity, right? Know plenty of people facing real life adversity right now, and this is just a challenge that hopefully helps them to know that they're capable of fighting through a difficult time. And that's the way we've got to look at this. I always say basketball is a game to help teach about life. It's a tool to help young men become men. And that's my approach right now. Are we going to give up because it's been hard, because it's been a challenge, or are we going to be resilient? And then we've got to compete better, Brian. I mean, we've frankly had a couple of games where it got tough, and we went away, and that's just not okay. We have to continue to fight. I don't care if we're up 40 or down 40. There's a way that the game is supposed to be played. Mike Tomlin would say the standard is the standard, and we haven't always lived up to the standard. But in fairness to these guys, some of them are still learning and understanding what that really means at this level. Again, not that they haven't played plenty of basketball, not that they haven't competed before, but this is a different level, and we're trying to raise our game. And so these guys are going to stay in the fight. I know that they're going to stay in the fight. We'll continue to work at getting better and making the most out of this experience.
How much is this team missing Roman Benedetti and Chase Huntel right now out of the starting lineup with injuries?
Yeah, I mean, we make no excuses at all, but those are two guys that have experience at this level that some others don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys we have are capable players.
Yeah.
I told him this morning I believe in the guys in the room, but those are two really good players, and for any high school team to be down two of their top players, two guys that play a significant amount of minutes, it's a challenge, and you have to figure out how to overcome. Stokes Wallen, he was out for a number of games. He got a few minutes yesterday. That was his first time playing in about 3 weeks. So going through a stretch without a couple of your top guys, it's an adjustment period, and guys are learning on the fly. The other thing that factors into that, it's not just that they have to learn on the fly, it's that we haven't had a lot of chances to practice. We've played 5 games in 8 days, and by the time it's all said and done, I think it'll be 8 games in 11 days, something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't leave a lot of time to teach, to grow, to do things over and over, to get that understanding and confidence. And so we need practice time, and that's not coming until after the new year. So we just got to persevere. We've got to be resilient, and we've got to persevere. We've got to learn on the fly and just keep grinding, man.
I want to point out a couple players that I feel have been grinding for you off the bench. Marco Chavez,
Yeah.
Orozco, Ethan Orozco,
yeah.
and then Hayden Corder coming off the bench last night for you are 3 guys that have been hustling to try to fill those roles,
Yeah.
and help contribute when it's needed. Talk about their effort and anybody else that comes to mind off the bench for you that really has been stepping up the last couple of games to try to fill those gaps.
Yeah, I would agree. I think you mentioned Marco first, and when Marco gets his opportunities, he's out there hustling, working. Made a couple of buckets last night, finished well for us.
6 points.
And so I'm proud of the effort that Marco gave. Ethan is just a stay ready kind of guy. Ethan's his attention, his focus, his willingness to compete regardless of the circumstances. That's who he is, and he's done a good job there. I thought Hayden gave us good minutes yesterday.
Yeah.
Played about 5 or 6 minutes. I can't remember how many, but I thought they were good minutes for us. He finished a couple. He played with some energy. And I'd say, we're starting to name all the guys, but another guy that does that is Kyson Hickman. Kyson's rebounding and effort on the boards has been big for us. Since we're naming names, I'm going to forget somebody now. But
I'm going to throw Brody Miller into that because he fights for rebounds, being one of the shorter statured guys on the court. He's out there still fighting for rebounds among the tall guys, and he pulls in plenty of boards to make his minutes count inside the paint.
It's not just his rebounding. Brody's willingness to do things the right way. His willingness to get on the floor, his willingness to box out, his defensive presence and positioning, really strong. And Brody's playing a significant number of minutes. He can shoot the rock, and he's a player that really can and will continue to help us. And we've been tinkering with a couple of things to be able to keep him out on the floor, especially defensively, a little bit more, because he's a good defender. He is undersized, and some teams will find ways to take advantage of that in the post, and we're working on some things with our defense to combat that, because we got to have Brody Miller on the floor. He's really good for us. Let's see, Mason. Haven't mentioned Mason. Mason didn't play this summer, but he was a football guy. Decided to come out after the football season, and I've actually been really proud of his positive energy as well. Just being a really, really great team guy, and being an encourager. Doing a really good job. Just sticking with us, and like I said, being a positive influence on the team.
Coach, I don't want to keep you any much longer. I know the team is waiting for you to go have some dinner before our game tonight. It's going to be Valley Christian, 8:30 local time, 7:30 Pacific time. If you're out on the coast, join us if you catch this before the game. We'll be live. Coach, any final words before we part?
Persevere, be resilient. YouTube has been it was a trek out here, but we're here to compete, here to play some basketball. Appreciate you being here, man, and helping the folks back home get a chance to see us play.
Always grinding. Sorry for the camera work yesterday, but we're persevering.
Hey, we'll get better today.
Yes.
We'll get better today.
Getting better every day. That's it. That's the Coach Silver today. We'll be back soon. Thanks for joining us.